Welcome back, everybody who's ready for some NBA. Got my James Wiseman shirt on, energy drink in hand, ready to go. We're going to make a series of videos for you. First one, just going to deal with the structural updates of the game this year, go over some key dates with you, and we'll dig into the different competitions, give you a little strategy insight. So let's dig into this blog post and cover the key points. All right, so starting out with some dates for you. Next Tuesday, October 7th, they're releasing the West cards. October 9th, will be the East card, so that's a Tuesday and then a Thursday. That following Monday will be the rookie class. Now, the season doesn't start until the 21st, so still plenty of time, over almost 3 weeks to go until the season tips. October 7th will be when you can start building lineups, although you wouldn't do that because we don't know what the minutes are going to look like until closer to the season. But anyway, if you want the in-season cards, the 7th for the West, the 9th for the East, the 13th for all the rookies. Rookies, of course, start with an L10-0, so if there's an impact rookie that we're looking at, that'll be a big advantage to start the season, help you build those winning lineups. As far as the in-seasons go, you're going to get these little tickets instead of actual player cards to start, and then they will be revealed later. This is a good way for them to do that since they don't have the pictures yet for everybody. They just had media days, I believe, yesterday, maybe the day before. They can get some player cards out without necessarily needing the photos. That's the change this year. So it's looking to me like auctions start on the 7th. The instant buy availability starts on the 12th. So that'd be the Sunday before the rookies come out. You'll be able to buy things on Instant Buy after you get a little bit of data from the first couple auctions. A little about the competition structure this season. Still have the champion. It's going to be the same format, the 120 plus MVP. Runs bi-weekly. This year you can do up to 5 lineups. In-season requirements 4, so that means you can use 1 classic per lineup. Obviously, you're probably going to want to have your classic be your MVP, as those are more expensive to buy in season. It is eligible for hot streaks. We'll go over that later. And it's good for every scarcity. We're also going to have a contender. This is the same format as last year as well. 120 points, but no MVP. You can also do 5 lineups of those. Also requires 4 in-season cards. Hot streak eligible. All formats. If you don't want to buy new cards, there are some formats for you. Challenger every week. You can do 140 plus MVP, so Lucian and I will have to rework lineup optimizers to fit this new format that includes 140 plus MVP. Also runs bi-weekly. You can do 3 of these lineups. Do not need any in-season cards for these. They're not hot streak eligible. They're going to pay out basically cards in essence, and they're introducing Arena. We'll go over that a little bit too, but a couple different formats of Arena. One with a cap of 75, so more like the classic kind of underdog lineup. 140, and then one without a cap for those whales who have lots of big cards sitting around that they're not using. You can get them in lineups, win something with those. And then we'll have daily pickup. So this is the only daily right now. I think they're probably going to introduce daily arena at some point during the season. But for now, it's just going to be daily pickup. They got rid of daily hoops, which is a lot less work for me, which is nice. Daily pickup is your classic 120 plus MVP. You can only do 1 of these each day. Not hot streak eligible, obviously. It doesn't have anything to do with that. You do not need in-season cards for these, so you can play whatever you want in these lineups. And again, you're going to be giving, I believe it's just essence rewards, basically, for the daily pickup. So let's touch on arena mode a little bit. This is a new addition for NBA. If you've been playing MLB this year, this was introduced about halfway through the season. I think it's a lot of fun. I like it in the daily sense, more so than the game week sense. Basically what arena is you play against 9 other people, so it's a room of 10. They fill as they're built, and they have 10. They'll put you together, and you're basically gambling essence in this. So you enter with essence, and you can also win more essence. Obviously, with our information, we finish in the top 3 of these pretty often, just because a lot of people are just throwing things out there. There's a new crafting system this year that I think is going to be a lot of fun. And I think you're going to want essence. It's going to be kind of a good way to build your bankroll, so to speak. The reason I think they're going dailies as well, it just says here, the wording is to start the season, arenas will be offered exclusively as bi-weekly competitions. That kind of gives me the indicator that there will be some daily arenas at some point. So I'm going to look forward to that. Of course, you can get a golden room. So golden room in MLB meant you were playing for some cash, which was fun. In NBA, it looks like the golden rooms are just double the essence prizes. So a little disappointing there, but again, if you win enough essence and you like the crafting this year, which I think is going to be a big improvement over last year's crafting. This will be something fun that you can do in addition to all the other competitions. All right, before I get into super rare and unique merging, I just wanted to touch on the fact that they haven't really come out with any update about the common game yet. And I think there will be a common game. I've been playing the football side common game just to get a feel for what they're doing over there. And it's actually a lot of fun. They give you a free common pack every day. You can earn essence by playing your common cards in common competitions. And with your common essence, you can buy more packs. Once you increase your collection size, you get collection bonuses. You can win different players. You can scrap a number of bad cards for a good card. There's a lot of different dynamics involved. I'm thinking we're going to get something similar to that in NBA. But as of now, there's been no announcement. We're still waiting on that. So we'll skip over that for now. Super rare and unique merge. Now, this is an interesting one. The super rare and unique cards obviously cost a lot of money. The uniques are going to be given a large XP bonus when used in these merged competitions. So there'll still be some value to holding one of those uniques. But the uniques are kind of more collector's pieces. The super rare cards are just the top level of the game. But of course, you can use uniques in the super rares now, and you get a little bit of a bonus for having one. They're updating tiers. And this is something that's been called for a long time. The tier structure was based on selling price more so than performance for the last, couple of seasons of a couple different sports. We had a lot of complaints about that over the years. So basically a new card would come out, or a rookie, even if it wasn't a great rookie, and they would immediately be shuffled into tier 1 or star tier just because there was no supply, and their first couple of editions sold for as much or more money than some of the star players at the time. Didn't make sense then, doesn't make sense now, so they've restructured a little bit. I'll be curious to see what kind of structure they use to make these determinations. It just says the new system lets us categorize NBA players more precisely based on their performance. That's good. Potential, that's a gray area. And impact on the court, which I don't know what that means. Performance is the key. I think your star cards should be your star players. So it shouldn't matter if they're a rookie or a veteran. Your star tier gets a little smaller. So it's only 3% of the population of players, as opposed to 6 last year. And tier 1 gets smaller, quite a bit smaller. Goes from 13 down to 5. Tier 2 shrinks quite a bit. So your high-end cards are all going to be in star, tier 1, and tier 2. That's the top, basically 20% of the league. And then 3, 4, and 5 divided evenly. So we added a 5th tier. I'm going to say I'm cautiously optimistic on the tier restructuring. Something needed to be done. So hopefully they got it right. I guess we won't find out until we start getting rewards. All right, let's look at the prize pool. Personally, my opinion was I wanted to see, with the limiteds, a larger amount of places paid out in actual cash, even if it meant less cash overall. Looks like they haven't gone that direction. They're still doing the very top-heavy prizes, and they're still doing just as much money for limited as they are for the upper levels. Organizational decision, I'm sure. I think this could always change season to season. But a $2,000 reward for winning limited champ is pretty significant. They've taken card rewards out of the champion prize pools here, and I think that's a good change. If you win $2,000, you don't need a star card. You can go buy one. I never understood why they went so crazy with the rewards, especially like early in the season. You win $2,000. They also give you a Wemby that you could probably sell for $300, $400 at the beginning of a season. Spread those out. To put the cards in another competition, reserve cash for this one. And I think that's what we're doing here. So I kind of like this restructure. I just don't like the payout structure. I wish it went a little deeper than 100 places on the cash. Anyway, this is what we get. So 2,000 for first, 1,000 for second, 600 for third. So nice prizes if you hit a podium. If you do not hit the podium, if you're a little bit further down the list, your prizes start to dissipate dramatically. But still $15 for a top 100 finish. For contender, you need to hit the podium to get some cash. So only the top 3 get paid, and then it's just essence after that and some XP bonuses. And we're looking at a big drop between winning a $75 third place reward and just getting 1,500 essence for fourth. I think people will be upset about that. Limited Challenger. So you have some card rewards for the top 100. Essence rewards up to 1,000 places. So I think the Essence is going to be fun this year. You're going to want to try these. And this is, of course, something you can play with older cards. Limited Pickup does not require in-season cards either. This is your daily game. And so for a daily game, 750 people get something, some kind of Essence. Top 50% get some XP to use. And if you followed along with us last year, played our optimal lineups in those daily pickups, we hit the top. I think overall for the season, we were top 12%, and that was just averaging everything out, but we had a bunch of them that were top 100. I would say you got a pretty good chance at winning quite a bit of Essence out of these prize pools, especially with just classic cards. Rare prize pools a little bigger, and similar structure, but only 40 places get cash here. Obviously, the number of entrants are smaller, and so these look all about the same here. They're not going to cover all of those. And then you get into your arenas. So you can see it going back and forth between limited, rare, super rare, and unique combined. So these are your regular rooms. For Arena 75, your entrance fee is 75, and you can win up to 230. For golden rooms, your 75 can turn into 460. And that, again, that's 5% of the time. For uncapped, I believe it was 200 to enter, and you can win up to 650. Top half get their money back, or get their Essence back. And if you happen to get a golden room, you can win up to 1,300 Essence off of your 200. This is the uncapped. And then you have the 140, and the 140s, you can win up to 500 in a regular, or up to 1,000 in a golden room. All right, let's move on to hot streaks. So the hot streaks are an interesting way for them to pay more cash prizes. This is something that'll be interesting to a lot of us. We get over 240 points a lot. So I think we're going to hit this first category, the second category, the third category pretty regularly. And then it's going to be a little harder to get to that fourth and fifth. So it's like climbing a ladder. You can see the different structures for different scarcities. So obviously the rare, you win quite a bit more money, 4 times the money in rare. But I think we're going to hit these quite a bit, at least the short ones, especially since you get 5 cracks at it every week. So if you got that classic MVP card and you can throw that in with 4 in-season cards, make yourself a decent enough lineup to get above 240 points. You can get your ladder started, and then if you are lucky enough to get 5 in a row, you get $1,000 up to 310. You don't have to beat other managers. You just need to cross the threshold and start your streak. And if you say don't play the next week, your streak is still alive until you play again. So if you choose to sit out a week because you don't like your matchups or you don't think you can get to that next ladder, you can wait for the following week, play that. And Contender has a ladder as well. The first 3 rungs of the Contender ladder are Essence, and then you get into cash on the last 2. And we can look back at last year's numbers. My guy Lucian made these for us last year. Shows the average, what it took to win first place, top 3, top 25%. And this is where the prize thresholds were last year. So if you look at champion, if you were the winning champion lineups were averaging about 318 points, top 410. So that was, I believe, where the card rewards cut off, average 250. And yeah, tough to make it into the high 200s with a Contender. As you can see, it is possible. These are last year's winners from week 12 on, and you can see quite a few good scores here. It is pretty possible. Average Contender win was 254. So that would be enough to win the highest ladder of the threshold, and it's doable every week. So I think these, if you don't understand what I'm talking about with the hot streaks, I think you'll understand it once the season starts. I haven't really played it myself. I don't really play the soccer side. I did hit the first ladder with a common lineup, got like 500 common essence or something over there. So I think there'll probably be ladders for the common game as well when we hear about that. Sealing is kind of shrouded in mystery. Apparently the cards have some sort of value when you seal them. I think the better cards will have higher value to seal. But of course the better cards are the ones you're going to want to use. So if you seal a card, you can't use it. You just get a boosted reward. So basically how this works is the more cards you seal, the higher your reward boost gets, and the higher your reward boost gets, you get an extra percentage added on to any prize you would win. So let's say you won $1,000 and you had a 3% reward bonus, you would win $1,030. But the reward bonuses go up to, I believe, like 15% if they're maxed out. And a 15% bonus on $1,000. It's an extra $150. Pretty worth it. If you've got old cards and you got a lot of them, you're probably going to want to keep enough out to use and then seal everything else just to try to get that bonus high as you can. So when you win, you're just adding a little bit every time. All right, the crafting system got a major overhaul. I think this is a big win for Sorare. Instead of the different tiers and trying to save up essence to a certain level to get a certain tier of card and then being disappointed, they now all cost 1,000 essence. You'll see 10 cards revealed when you go to craft. You'll be able to win clues as to what position the player plays, what conference they're in. You'll be able to get an idea who you might be crafting before you craft them, put some strategy into the system. Of course, the clues cost more essence. Crafting opens October 22nd, and they are updating the balance of the essence. So for limited, let's say you're me and you have 56 essence. Well, actually, I only have 36 limited essence, so that's going to turn into 360. It's a 10x. I know some of you saved your essence. That was a good idea. You'll have some to start the season. You'll get some in-season cards with it. Instead of crafting a Shake Milton at the end of last year, which will be completely useless, you can probably get an in-season card and hopefully get something good. And again, it starts on October 22nd. And when you get your 10 face-down cards, you have a 75% chance of a standard draw, a 25% chance of a special draw, which offers better odds at high-tier cards. Anyway, this is going to be an interesting system. We haven't seen it in action yet. I think they have this on the football side if you want to go check that one out, but I haven't personally seen it. So that's as far as I'm going to go with that. You can also buy back partial essence if you don't like your card. Instead of just having to deal with it, you can return it for a partial refund. And the clues will eliminate 5 of the 10 cards, tell you a position, tell you a division, and that'll help you make a more informed decision. All right, Emirates Cup. So last year, this was where I gained a bunch of you because we actually hit the common Emirates Cup for like a top 20. A lot of us won actual cash in that first Emirates Cup competition out of the common game. So putting nothing in, we won some cash. That was great. Don't know if we're going to be able to do that this year, but we'll obviously have good information like we always do. Hot streaks have a 5 times multiplier during the Emirates Cup. So this is a great time to build bankroll. If you can get lucky enough to climb that ladder during the Emirates Cup, you're going to be in great shape. So you'll want to be here for the Emirates Cup. So pretty quickly after the season tip-off, play a couple weeks, then we start Emirates Cup play. Missions. Okay, so they are keeping missions around. This is a way you can win some extra essence, some XP, and more completing missions throughout the season. So whether it's a collection mission or it'll be during a game week, you have to have a player, say you have to have 2 players score 30 points in a game or something like that. You'll win some extra essence. Or, the daily missions, you lock in some players that are in your vault to hit certain stat thresholds, claim some rewards. XP updates. So I think this is going to follow what they're doing in MLB. Same system. Basically what that is you have this little XP reserve button. When you win XP, instead of the XP just naturally going to the players, it still does that as you use them in lineups. There's a formula for that. But you get XP that you can put on certain cards, whichever cards you feel you want to put them on. So you can level them up before they would naturally level up. And so when you click this button, it just takes you to all your cards. The levels for each percentage point. So let's say you buy a new card, it's going to cost you 200 XP to level that guy up once, then 400, then 600, and so on. Oh, here are the cooldowns. 1 day right away, and then a week, and then 2 weeks, and 4 weeks, etc. when you get up to the higher levels. So in transition to the new XP system will begin before the season update goes live on October 7th. So looks like October 7th is the big day. That's when everything really kicks off. That's less than a week away. Exciting, fresh competition formats, more rewarding game weeks, new ways to earn and collect. I mean, I like this. I like a lot of this. I think we're headed in the right direction. It's just a matter of the game growing. Obviously, they're keeping the number of cards they're producing fairly small. Limited is kind of the new common, as far as I can tell, because the prices are so low now that I think anybody who puts a couple bucks down, can jump in, start making some lineups, you know, $50 to $100 probably to get started in limited. And yeah, if you've been here since last year, you probably have a pretty decent sized classic collection now. Hopefully you have some MVPs to use, and you can subsidize around them with the lesser players that aren't so expensive. So I kind of like it. Those in-season MVPs will still be worth something, but your classic MVPs don't lose their value. So if you want to join us for this season, I'll have some more videos coming out in the next week or so, getting you ready, some strategy videos. You can join us over at Patreon/SoRareEdge. It's free to join the Patreon. If you want the paid part of it, you get access to my NBA main sheet with full projections. That's for the $5 membership. For the $10 membership, you get that, and you also would get your lineup optimizer organizer tool that downloads your collection directly from the Sorare API, populates with my projections, and then we have a tool that will build you your optimal lineups based on what you have in your collection. And you can update that from the API as much or as little as you want, but you want to update it pretty regularly because your XP changes. And of course, as your XP changes, your projections will change and get higher. And as you add cards or sell them off, you'll just want to update it to make sure your collection's accurate. All right, thanks for watching. Look for more videos in the coming days. Looking forward to an exciting season. Let's get it.